Hi, in today's video, we're going to unpackage and try on some Whitesville t-shirts. Whitesville, premium t-shirt known for their tubular knit construction. The name actually harkens back to the 1950s here in the US when the brand was owned by Montgomery Ward. Went into, like many great clothing brands, just kind of died away, resurrected by Toyo in Japan, who has their a whole big thing going on with vintage American workwear. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to try these on and take a closer look at them. The t-shirt is one of those items of clothing that has existed pretty much as long as we've been wearing clothing. Now, for the majority of human existence, it's been an undergarment. And it wasn't until really, so in like the 1930s, US Navy started issuing t-shirts as an undergarment as part of the uniform. After World War II, and I think the other, certainly here in the United States, the other armed forces followed suit. I know they did overseas in Japan, in Europe, in Russia. They're kind of known for their striped t-shirts in their military uniforms. But anyway, it wasn't until about mid-1940s, end of the war, when soldiers and sailors started using their t-shirts as more outerwear. By the 1950s, especially with Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire, on the billboard, wearing a t-shirt, that it was kind of solidified as a fashion staple in its own right. One of the things that's kind of interesting is that the t-shirt has all along been pretty much a cheap piece of clothing. And even today, most t-shirts are, they are mass-produced, water jet cut, laser cut, and oftentimes they won't be made of the best cotton. In the last few years, we've seen a real resurgence of quality luxury t-shirts, especially harkening back to some of the older construction techniques like the tubular or loop wheel knitting. Much like the Mersby Schwanen Henley that I'm wearing right now, with the loop wheel construction. Notice the lack of side seams, and that's what we've been seeing. Better materials, better cotton with better, although certainly less profitable, hence the higher price, better construction techniques. So these are Whitesville t-shirts. Now, I own a lot of t-shirts, and Mrs. Fading Glory will talk long and loud about that. But this is the first time that I've had the Whitesville. I bought them. They generally come in a 2-pack. I actually got these from a Buy-E supplier. So I actually went on to Buy-E, which is a website where you can link up with buyers. And I will say that I did save a few dollars by going through Buy-E, even with the shipping being separate from the item cost. I think I still wound up saying like 15 bucks. Now, this is a 2-pack, as I mentioned. Just as I'm getting my hands on this, man, this feels really nice. To give you an idea, before we even unfold anything, they do make somewhat of a deal of the taping and the collar. This is all very soft, but obviously just looks really sturdy. The 2-pack unfolds as one, so they're stacked in there. So I'll have to unfold both of them. And let's go ahead and take one and put it down where it won't get dirty. And then we'll take this other one. Again, man, it just looks good. So I got a size large. I am 5'9", maybe 185 as I stand here. And like I said, this is a large. So let's go ahead and try it on and see what. Let's do it. I'm going to blur this out so that you don't have to avert your eyes. So again, a comfortable t-shirt, and man, this feels really good, is great for against the skin wear, underclothes, or in this case, certainly stands on its own. Man, I think that's really nice. I think that's a nice t-shirt. Feels good. They are made for the American silhouette, so not necessarily overly fitted, but this does have a nice fit to it, a nice taper to it. So yeah, man, this is good stuff. Very, very soft on the skin. And I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I think I did okay. And I'm pretty happy with it. The weight is, did you call them a heavyweight t-shirt? So it's not like those sort of flimsy, I guess Sears and Roebuck, if they were still around, like you'd get, or like a Hanes regular, not hacking on Hanes, but this is, at least it feels a little bit heavier, a little bit sturdier. It's not like some of the other stuff. So I have the Gustin vintage heavyweights that I did a video on. I'll try to link that up here. It's doesn't feel as heavy as those, and certainly not as heavy as my Wonder Looper double heavyweights. So this is something that I could see wearing this. Oh, this reminds me of something. I'll tell you here in a second. I could see wearing this on its own, and I could see wearing this underneath something. So really, really versatile. So when I was in college, I took French, and my French professor was a younger guy named Jerome Briot. And I remember one day I'm walking down Newbury Street on Saturday morning. Newbury Street's kind of a high class shopping district in Boston. And I'm walking down there one Saturday morning, and I see Jerome, and he's walking toward me, and he's wearing kind of what I'm wearing now, right? He's wearing just like a plain white t-shirt and jeans. And I remember thinking to myself, like, and of course we stopped and said hi and chatted for a second. I remember thinking to myself, how is it that this guy can just pull off just a plain white t-shirt? I was sort of still in that place where t-shirts, at least plain white t-shirts, were undergarments. But man, maybe it's because he's Parisian. I don't know. But he could really pull it off. And I think maybe my own fashion sense has evolved, or maybe just my self-confidence has evolved to a place where I would absolutely go to the store like this and would not feel as though I were out in my underwear. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so this is the second one, because as you can see, I've kept the other one on because I almost don't want to take it off. And that's saying something, because what I had on before, that Mersby Schwernen Henley, is another just amazingly comfortable garment with a really good feel against the skin. But this is super comfortable and I like it. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. You can see, again, you can see on the neck, we have this nice double needle tailoring. The neck is ribbed to allow it to stand up. So, you know, you're probably not going to get that floppy neck as easily as you can with some other stuff. There's really not much to look at him. It's a plain white t-shirt, right? The thread is kind of neat. I don't know if we can get it where you can see this, but the thread is actually almost like an ecru. It doesn't seem like it's, I don't know, in some light, it seems like it's just a little bit less white than white. Actually, in that bar tack, which is another great little thing to see, but, you know, from a build perspective, but you can see in that bar tack and in the stitching, that the stitching itself, like I said, it's more of like an ecru, which honestly probably makes this a little bit more elevated when you do wear it on its own. The waistband is kind of the same way. You have this nice double needle tailoring, or stitching rather. And again, it appears as if it's going to hold its shape. So yeah, you know, not a lot really to talk about, except that it looks great, it feels great. No side seams, of course, because this is a Loopwheeled product. There is tubular knitting and there is Loopwheel. All Loopwheel is tubular, but not all tubular is Loopwheel. Loopwheel machines are vintage. They are older. They spin slower, and they spin putting the yarn under less tension, so you get that really, really soft. I mean, I wish I could convey how great this feels, but that is a product of that Loopwheel construction. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you. This has been great. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Look for a much more in-depth t-shirt video soon, where I go through all my t-shirts and give you my thoughts on them. Thanks, everyone. Bye.